Let's see if this works. Seems to work. Hello everybody. Come next. I'm trying to run this on the side here on my laptop to see what you see. See audio quality. There you go. All right, folks. I am a little bit nervous because this is the first time that I'm actually doing a more high quality one of these, because my webcam is just appalling. And of course, not on Instagram, but on YouTube. This is pretty big. I just done a live video on Instagram actually about these, and this is a pretty big deal for me. I've been traveling to Japan since 2009. I've been a craftsman for my whole life, and of course, living in Japan and working in Japan, I've been exposed to Japanese folding saws the entire time. There's a huge area there. Whenever you go to a Japanese tool store, you find tools or saws from all type of different manufacturers, anything from very traditional to more modern pruning and arborist saws, mainly Silky, Tajima, and a couple of other manufacturers. But even Silky is big in Japan. It's not some gimmick. It's not something that's not used in Japan itself. They're made in Japan, and I've used them in all varieties, anywhere from the Temagari to the Katana Boy, the Big Boy, the Gomboy, the Pocket Boy, anywhere from harvesting very small pieces of wood for spoon carving all the way to solo canoe trips in northern Ontario with groups of people where I'm lending away my saws, where saws are a efficient and safe means to actually get to firewood. I just seem to have a little bit of issues here with the stream. Trying to get this figured out. I hope this is working actually, folks. All right, so anyways, this is the first time I'm doing this really on Instagram, on YouTube, so I hope this actually works out. In any way, so I hope this works. All right, anyways, so one of the major gripes about Silky, and let's first talk about the good things. Silky has an extremely good quality control. Silky has puts value over profit, in my opinion, all the way. They're still made in Japan. They haven't gone like the short route to profit yet. However, over the years, I've heard people say a lot that they can be bent, and sometimes they would rip the tip off, because people, of course, more used to frame saws, they're more used to pushing saws rather than the more efficient and way higher performance way of Japanese pull saws. The way the teeth are made, the way they're hardened, the way everything is designed is entirely prioritizing performance. Performance means less fatigue. Less fatigue means less mistakes because of less mental and physical tiring, which means less injuries. That's how I'm thinking in the way of work, risk management, outdoor activities, outdoor education, canoe trips, hunting, hiking, wood carving, harvesting wood for spoon carving. This is how my mind works. Now, a quick anecdote. 5-6 years ago, I was living in northern Ontario, and there was a canoe festival there. I was carving canoe paddles at the time by hand. I was doing tumble lines, making knives, carving spoons, etc. And one day, Ray Mears came by, and I knew that in advance, and I was extremely nervous about it. And he went by my booth and looked at my stuff, and I was sweating fear, it was a great chat, and it was one of the most important occasions in my life, events, because what I'm doing is mainly because of him and his way of valuing certain qualities in life and presenting this romanticized, slightly romanticized view of craft and bushcraft. Japanese pole saws are way superior in cutting performance and performance in general, and quality as well. But I've never seen a student that I handed a Baku lab blender to who was able to bend or rip that thing off. And that made a lot of sense to me. Now, we're not all arborists. We didn't all grow up in the Japanese tool tradition. We're not all professionals. And silky saws are not expensive, but they cost more than other saws, although I think they way make it up in performance and quality. However, there is that point. So over the years, that was something that stuck in my mind, and I've had the situation in camps, in solo canoeing situations where I was extremely careful with my saw, and I had the situation in camps with other people where I handed over a saw and I would get it back bent, because the saw blades would be very flexible, but there would be a point where they take the set, because people would push into the wood, something would cant, and they would literally push their entire weight or their entire force against that grip, or like when the saw catches, and it would just not be able to take that. So today I received a package from Silky Europe. After several years of giving this feedback, Silky Japan has tested these, has come up with a limited edition line called the Silky Outback. They're not available yet. They will be available in April and May. They've been shipped from Japan now, and they will only go to distributors, and from there to physical and small online shops. They will not be available from Amazon, and that's very important, I think, in my opinion. And now the sun's coming out, when I really, the one time I do not need it. Okay, let's just regroup and reposition here a little bit. There you go. I think this is going to be a little bit better in the long run. So I've been using Japanese saws, the Silkies, over the last few years. I've done a lot of videos on them, and I use them in my work every day. So they sent me these. I give people in the end the actual opinion that I have about them. Right now, this is not a review. I can't do a review at an unboxing. It makes absolutely no sense. I want to show you what they sent me, and I want to give you a first impression. Now, I have unpacked them in a recent Instagram video about 5 minutes ago, but they still have not been used, and I'm gonna give you an idea just about the packaging. So let's work from small to big. Right before that, I want to say thank you, Silky, for sending these to me, and thank you very much for actually valuing my opinion. Like I said, this is a limited run. This is a pre-release video unboxing. This is not a review. A review will be up in about 2 months. They will be available by the end of end of May. They don't know yet, depending on shipping. Shipping is very slow right now because of the pandemic. So these, like I said, there will be a video in about 2 months. I will drag them through the dirt for the next 2 months, and we'll just see if what they claim about them to be different is really different. That's what I can do, and like I said, I have no obligation to them, and I will never lie about anything anyways, because I'm not paid, I'm not biased. I'm just trying to support brands, others, and make myself too, where I think that we're putting value on quality over profit, and value on lifelong, having things lifelong, being able to maintain it, being able to keep it rather than chuck it away buying something new. So right off the bat, I can tell you, this might not be for you. You know, these might be not for you if you're already a happy Silky saw owner and you do not have any gripes with them. I don't think that you need another saw, absolutely not. But I think there's some people that these are for. So thanks for the swag, guys. Love these buffs. They're actually made with 2 recycled plastic bottles, which is great. And I love the Japanese kaide maple look, and I love this type of swag, and I use these climbing mountains, hiking, hunting, being on the 3D course all the time, working. I love buffs in general, and I love these little boxes with the Silky. This is awesome, Max. Just do all kind of stupid stuff in a live video that just works there you go. The little band-aid box, with little silky band-aids in it. Being a wood carver, there's no what do I love for everyday garden work, bringing them on backpacking, different blade options, etc. The Pocket Boy. Pocket Boy is awesome. I think it's a small, huge saw. It's extremely compact. This is the XL version. It has nearly the same thickness as some of the bigger saws, so it's extremely sturdy. I love this saw. I recommend it to a lot of people. My mom uses it in the yard with all type of different fruit bushes, etc. all the time. It is extremely high value saw. This is, like I said, this is the XL version. Comes in this super handy little plastic box, very secure, compartmentalized in a way that you throw it in a pack, and you know when you reach in it, you're not gonna touch the blade. It's not gonna scratch anything, your camera or whatever. It's gonna be just by itself. Keep it on the outside of the backpack. Keep it on your belt if you're working in the yard. If you're an arborist, if you're harvesting something, great. Now, this little Pocket Boy came in this packaging. Like I said, I ripped it off, open. The Pocket Boy, hardly any plastic in the packaging, very, very little, which is amazing. Thank you very much for that. Other than that, really cool packaging, lots of info on the back. Without further ado, Silky Pocket Boy Outback. Same awesome plastic sheath, very secure, with a nice little closure. It says Pocket Boy on it. Like I said, this is a first impression. What is new about these blades? Let's go over it on this. This is the, I would say, the medium setup. Extremely cool looking, but does that do anything for us? No. So what is actually new about these? Let's just swing over here again, because I think the lighting is better now with the sun gone. This is the 17 centimeter, 170 millimeter Pocket Boy version, not the curved one, but I think these are more in the medium blade, which is great. What is different about this whole lineup? They're supposed to be made for wood and bone. What does help about it, as far as Silky says? First of all, there's a new nickel tin coating that is also coating the teeth, which is, although the blade is not by any means thicker, keeping the same performance, this tin coating is not only helping with keeping cutting edge on the teeth when cutting bone. And I know this is a weird thought for a lot of people, but I know where my meat comes from. And there is a pack of ribs and some, like a doe spine in my freezer that needs exactly this. If you're out and about, when you're doing backpack hunting, canoe hunting, where you process your own meat, all the power to you. You know where this comes in handy, and you know that it can be potentially dangerous. So as much cutting performance, as much sharpness you get out of a blade, as much grip you get out of a handle, less fatigue, less possibility for any mistakes with environment. Like when I was on a solo canoe trip, 5 legs down, 6 portages down, 10 portages down, and I would cut myself with anything, my knife, my axe, my saw. I would be screwed because I can't get out of there myself. I don't have cell service. It all turns into a huge shoot sandwich, if you know what I mean. So very important to optimize. I think these saws in a way that they're more usable for certain people. So right there we have the coating, and then with the coating as well on the closing mechanism, with I think keeps it going a little bit smoother, just a small detail. We've got, of course, the 2 positions, cutting something closer to the ground with a more natural hand position than this, which is more great for upright cutting or overhead cutting. And then there is a new handle called the Arbor Composite Plastic Biocomposite, which is supposed to, it feels more like Kopilka material or micarta or G10. It's hard, it's not soft, which means it's gonna feel apparently more grippy when it's wet or full of blood. It's just what they tell me. And I'm not gonna, claim this at all. This is just some information I got. This is an unboxing, and I'm just showing you what I got here. And I think for some people, this can be more interesting. Also the color combinations, of course, like I love more bright colors sometimes in camp because I can really locate things in my tent. I can locate it around the fire, something that's bright blue, red, orange. But I can totally see where a color scheme like this can come in handy. When you're trying to keep low visibility, low impact visibility, your entire setup might be somewhat more toned down. You know, you're hunting, you're backpack hunting, whatever. You might want something that is more along these lines for all kind of applications. So that's why I'm saying these might not be for you. If you have one already, maybe you don't have to upgrade at all. But what I can tell right off the bat is that where these are nearly as flexible, they're more sturdy than the regular one, but I can totally see how this coating actually keeps it from bending. It seems to be a lot more rigid and springy and wants to go back in its original shape rather than the regular line that seems to rather stay bent. I really like the handle as well. Other than that, really slick optics. The Silky logo on here, Japan back here, of course your lanyard, and this extremely handy and secure box. And I think for what they run, this goes right into my skinning or pro here. This is a very small setup, and I can totally see how you can put that with a couple of sharp knives, sharpening materials or something like that into your hunting kit, into your bushcraft kit, into your spoon carving kit. This is amazing how much you can do with a saw like this in a spoon carving environment. Harvesting small branches in a wood pile without getting stuck anywhere. Really good. Now, next up, the second size they sent me is a bigger brother of the Gomboy that I reviewed and showed. This is probably the most sold Japanese saw I think there is in different sizes. They come, I think, from 18 all the way to 30 centimeters. You see it's very well used. I just went through a whole wood pile to harvest the little scoops for our wabi-sabi mini scoop tutorial about how to carve the little guys. It's small enough to get in there, not getting stuck between all the weird rummagey like wood branches everywhere. It's got a black rubber handle, as you know. I really like the saw, but this one definitely suffers from the situation where we have a rather bendy blade, and that doesn't necessarily always spring back to where it wants to be. Not for me, this is dead straight. I've used these for over a decade, so I'm good. But this is a saw that people get very often as first Japanese pole saw, and they love it, but then they sometimes run into issues if they lend it to someone else, or they're just not used to it yet. Coming in is one bigger version, but the same thing basically, which is the Gomboy 24 centimeters, 240 millimeters, 9.5 inches. Comes with this really cool sheath that I like a lot. So it has already a snap closure, but then it's a belt loop that actually locks the sheath. And when you actually unlock it and open it, this hooks into the inside of your belt, which really makes it secure. And this is awesome to carry around when you're harvesting anything, when you just like, especially for all kind of greenwood carving, this is amazing. So let's just put this aside. And this is just under 10 inches curved. The variety, I would say, is the large teeth. And this comes with something extremely interesting. There is several extraction teeth on here that are more blunt. It's hard to see, but there would be one right there where my thumb is. It is a blunt white tooth that is just there to extract fine bone or wood dust out of the cleft. Also, these teeth are non-set, so they're sticking out slightly left and right from the width of the blade, which means that these blades in general are already working on extracting sawdust and actually are cutting a slightly wider cleft than the thickness of the blade, which makes it just in general easier. Now, the coating on these is not only really stealthy and beautiful, which is something important to say. A beautiful tool will motivate you more and inspire you more to use it. This is one reason why I'm trying to make the most beautiful functional things possible, and I think that functional lines and beauty always go hand in hand and cause each other. With this coating, I do totally see how this is a lot sturdier and just wants to spring back in a different way without bending, and it has a really slick feel to it. It also does something, in my opinion, with the mechanism. It's running smoother, like it's having a very smooth coating on it. There's no oil or anything. And again, it has the setting that I use a lot when I'm cutting closer to the ground, which is of course a little bit dangerous. You don't want to cut into the ground to ruin your beautiful teeth, which are sharpened on 3 planes. Silky makes saw since 1919, which is over 100 years now, and a lot of saw making expertise came from sword making expertise in Japan, which is a very interesting story. Being representative for a Japanese school of swordsmanship in Europe exclusively, I have a lot of history with talking and thinking and learning about Japanese tools, cutlery, blades in general, and it's one of the beautiful things about these saws that they go all the way back to those times. Kopilka type of material, very, like I said, micarta feeling, and I can totally see how this is actually getting more grippy as it gets wet, and I will of course test it. This is just what they claim, but I see also nice little chamfering around here, a fun little ramp that definitely invites your thumb to be right in that position and put nice pressure on. Small details that I definitely appreciate and dig. So this is definitely more money than the regular line. They will not replace it. This is a limited edition. And like I said, I can totally see how these might be very interesting for outdoor educators, hunters, etc., who want to have a different type of blade, more sturdiness, who also might process game, etc. So these will be marginally more expensive. This is not some more whatever marketing gimmick gag as far as I can see. I totally see and feel like they have their place. It's just a variety that people have been asking for. And now to finish this off, this is the saw that I recommend most to all people when they ask me, and people ask me a lot. I've taken this to 3 continents on solo canoe tours in Northern Ontario. I do most of my fire with this. I have the XL teeth on this, this is the big boy, 36 centimeters, 360 millimeters. I have several replacement blades for this. This is the XL, I have medium and fine, and all of them are actually having their place. Different types of wood, timber framing type work, dry coniferous, green, hardwoods, fruitwoods, etc. I'm switching blades. It takes about a couple seconds with a knife or even sometimes with my fingernail, opening this up, switching blades super fast. I recommend buying these blades, or like these saws, and then a replacement blade in a different tooth size, and then just do everything with it. That's my take on the Silky Big Boy, and I've never had anybody complain about quality, longevity of the blades, anything. It's one of these things on the market where you hardly find anyone who has an issue with them because the quality control is so good. This is dead straight to make a really nice, rather sturdy blade on this XL version that is curved and not straight. I have a big love story with this thing. Now, that being said, I can see how people have a little bit of a use maybe of a different version. This one as well comes with a inside coated protection and cutting coat. Like I said, if you're in a big camp, several hundred pounds of gear with canoes, carrying stuff around, etc., stuff in your backpack, in your trunk of your car, where I keep things like this a lot. Driving by a wood pile, going like, oh, cool, ringing a bell, going like, hey, my name is Max, I'm a wood carver. May I take a branch of that damson tree that you just cut down? People go like, yeah, no problem. A couple of seconds later, I'm standing there cutting beautiful wood for my spoons. And this makes it possible for me to throw it in the trunk. There is metal, you know, open, protruding, so you don't want to have it scratching up other stuff and everything. So even small things like these bags and these boxes they come with are great for compartmentalization and just keeping things protected and clean. What is this? This is a Silky Big Boy 36 centimeters XL teeth, 6.5 TPI, teeth per inch, with their new and unique apparently nickel tin coating. It is a good bit more sturdy. It's a good bit more sturdy in my opinion. I will test all of this. This is just my first impression. This is an unboxing. I'm just observing what I'm seeing. They do not have any extraction teeth, which they don't need because they have a significant amount of extra width in the setting of the teeth. Curved, of course. The handle not flexible or rubbery like the other Silky Big Boy handles, but this is again this biocomposite arbor material. The coating on the mechanism seems to give it a good extra amount of smoothness. That's just my first impression. And a little bit more precision somehow. Again, this is the setting I use for horizontal cuts. This is what I'm using more when I'm working diagonal or overhead vertically. First impression, beautiful saw. The tin coating seems to mostly really do something for the smoothness, for the sturdiness, and for the life expectancy of the teeth when you cut something like bone. It also seems like there is a slight different color along the teeth, as you can also see on the regular blades, which is from the tempering process. So this is what I can tell you right off the bat with the first impressions. Packaging is all mostly cardboard, which is very important for me. You have, sorry for this is ridiculous, but I just want to show you that. One set teeth that give you extra width. I'm used to most of this already from my regular silky saws I've been using, like I said, for over a decade. That the mid-eye is the different cutting angles on every tooth, that there is 4 different cutting angles. New, like the impulse hardening is also something I know already, but new is the silky black plating with this tin. It's been a while. The tin nickel blend that it's coated with, and that is something I just gotta find out. I'm just like telling you what they claim. And then the arbor composite grip that is especially apparently grippy when it comes to also slippery material or slippery liquids like blood. It sounds very off to many people, but it's what they were designed for. These are designed for people who have bushcraft schools, who do hunting, who do backpack hunting, who do big expeditions with canoes, some type of backcountry, high exposure, high consequence situations. That's also this less reflective coating goes along with that. It's not for everybody. It's not supposed to be, and it's also not really a gimmick or like a marketing gag, I think, but it's just really an approach, or it's an attempt on a different approach on a few products that have been very well received over the years, and just a little bit of extra. Also says here, of course, we've got the wood and bone. These are of course still made in Japan, so there's no cutting corners or anything like that. So do I think that someone who is happy with their silky saw and has maybe 1 or 2 and uses them well, doesn't bend them, doesn't, you know, has none of these problems, do I think they need to buy this just because it's so much extra? No, I don't think so at all. I don't think these will be more expensive by much than maybe $3 or $4. But they have an appeal to them. They're beautiful. They look extremely stealthy and nice. And like I said, I am a fan of things that inspire you to use them and take them out and give them a personality. You know, going through hundreds of kilometers of canoeing with you, they become a companion. They become a friend. They're not just like some tool anymore that you have no relation with. And this is what happens to all of my stuff, to my belts, my knives, my spoons, my bows. It doesn't matter. They go on journeys with me, they experience things with me, and they develop a personality. And so there's nothing wrong with saying something like this about a tool. They help us doing the things that we love to do. So at the end of the day, these are not just gimmicky things. But yeah, if you're not someone who is like, I don't know, maybe updating, absolutely not. But if you're looking to extend your collection because you think you would like to have something a little bit more compact, maybe, for example, for you hunting or for you spoon carving kit, then yeah, absolutely, have a look at them. They're not available yet. Like I said, they're gonna be available April, May, worldwide from distributors and smaller online shops or specialty online tool shops. They're the Silky Outback, and of course, as soon as I am a few months down the line with these, taking them through the daily dirt of doing what I'm doing, I will get back to you. I will refer back to you in a proper YouTube video talking about what they are, what they claim, and what they fulfilled along the way. But I have no reason to believe that they will not do what they are supposed to do, because Silky has no business in putting their reputation on the line just to bring out something gimmicky for a little bit of extra profit. They don't need that. Their saws are selling worldwide like hotcakes for a good reason, and they still have not gone down in quality, which is pretty much unheard of in the outdoor industry, to be a little bit cocky here. So I don't have a reason not to believe what they're claiming, but we will all find out. So I really hope this was interesting for y'all. This was a look at the Silky Outback, an unboxing. Just got this stuff in. First impressions. Sorry for the lighting. Sometimes it's good and then it becomes not good. I'm pretty stoked about these. I think it's a very appealing, different take on a absolutely working concept of their saw line. And I think the three sizes in the Pocket Boy, the Gomboy and the Big Boy is a very good choice, because they are the most versatile and the most popular among them anyways. I am not aware of any plans on coming out with medium or large or fine teeth with the coating and the blade thickness difference, the biocomposite on the handle, etc. They might take off, and they might actually become a regular product offered. But for now, they seem to be very limited. And yeah, different take. I really like them. But so far, this is just a first optical impression after handling them for so many years. I'm sure that they will be absolutely fabulous. But I will do some stuff, I think, that is closer to what these are supposed to be doing differently. And then I'll be able to update you about that. Well, thanks very much, folks, for the support. I really appreciate it. We just sold out on all of the Sloyd all-round sets on my website, woodsmansfinest.net and woodsmansfinest.com, with the Schwebeck Sloyd and the all-round hook. Thank you very, very much. Amazing, to over 2 dozens of those sold in the last month. Together with all of the axes, of course, my Karelia Journeyman and the Wayfarer, all the different hooks that I designed, the gouges. For cooks and carving, there's actually a video coming out today or tomorrow, just a couple of minutes of ASMR fun carving the inside of a cooksa with my gouge line, and there's a lot more coming out. We're working on the last couple of bits of some adzes and a historical draw knife that I wanted to reproduce authentically. And of course, you find all of my courses on boon.tv/woodsmansfinest. So there's by now over 61 hours of course material, carving, sharpening, different carving systems, decoration, leather craft, from basics all the way to making you different hook, knife sheaths, straight sloyd sheaths, and there's actually much more coming. I'm working on a belt series and a very elaborate belt sheath series for March and April. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Head over there, boon.tv/Woodsman's Finest, to get your course or your membership, whichever you choose. Right, thanks very much for tuning in. I hope this was fun. And thanks very much to Silky for sending these to me. Again, I'm not paid. I'm just one of the few people in Europe who got their hands on these early on. Yeah, to just see what they are and what they aren't.